Just minutes after we released today's global earthquake update, a powerful magnitude 6.1 earthquake struck the eastern Mediterranean, just 14 kilometers south of Kassos Island, Greece, at 1:51 a.m. local time on May 14, 2025. The quake originated at a depth of 78 kilometers and was widely felt across Greece, Turkey, Egypt, and Libya. This event follows earlier seismic concerns in the region, including active swarms recently reported around Santorini and Campi Flegrei, both highlighted in our most recent reports. The sudden release of tectonic pressure near the Dodecanese Islands adds to the growing focus on seismic stability throughout the eastern Mediterranean. We are monitoring the situation closely and will provide updates if any significant aftershocks occur or if additional activity is detected.
A tsunami warning has been issued after a powerful 6.0 magnitude earthquake rocked the Greek island of Crete, a hotspot for British holidaymakers. The tremor struck early on Wednesday morning, with Greece's Ministry for Climate Crisis and Civil Protection urging people to move away from the coast immediately. Officials are particularly concerned about the Kassos region. Emergency services are on high alert, and tourists are being urged to head for higher ground. The quake hit 48 kilometers southeast of Kassos, with tremors felt across nearby islands. No injuries have been reported yet, but authorities are saying aftershocks are possible. Crete sits on a major tectonic fault line and is no stranger to seismic activity. But the fear now is whether the latest quake could unleash a destructive tsunami. We'll bring you more updates as they come in.
This is the book of Mark, chapter 13, verses 7 and 8, verse 7, and it reads, And when ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars, be ye not troubled, for such things must needs be, but the end shall not be yet. Verse 8, For nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be earthquakes in divers places, and there shall be famines and troubles. These are the beginning of sorrows. Giving all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Rahakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well in teaching us this 100% truth. Salutations to them and my fellow Akim who labor in this truth week in and week out on the highways and byways. Also salutations to the hopeful elect of the scattered 12 tribes of Israel, scattered to the four corners of the earth, that be like unto the speckled bird, also known as your Israelite foreigners, and your so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. To you I say Shalom. This is your brother Ayashal Barzal, a prophet of doom from the Indianapolis branch of the Great Millstone, coming back at you with another lesson that is edifying to the elect body of the nation of Israel. All right, and yeah, with this open scripture, man, I mean, everything is in play right now. Everything's in play, you know. Like I say, you got the wars and the rumors of wars. You got India with Pakistan. The United States is and France is ramping up to try to do something to Burkina Faso. Well, not try to do something, literally steal the golden resources from them. That's what they're going to do, or to attempt to do. All right, if it be in Yahweh Bashem Yahushai's will. You got the state of Israel against everyone over there in that region. You got the state of Israel against the 12 tribes of Israel. Yes, their war is with us because, you know, once it has now been discovered that they are not the people, they are going to war against us. They always have been, but now it's down to the wire, you know, that they're going to be losing that power. And most recently, I saw something where the state of Israel is talking about, I think it was unilateral action against the United States because Trump wants to declare Palestine a state. So it's getting ramped up. And I tell you, you know, you got Putin telling France that if they do anything to Burkina Faso, it will not be good. So yeah, there's a lot of stuff going on. But what I want to focus on is this, you know, the part about the earthquakes. I'll get into that a little bit. You had that 6.3 magnitude earthquake in Greece, and you know, man, all of this stuff is happening. All these troubles are happening. You're seeing the civil war brewing between Jacob and Esau. You know, everyone, all the nations are really seeing Esau, the so-called white man, for who he is. He's not white. He's actually red, according to the scriptures. His blood shows forth through his skin, and that word white means moral, without moral impurity. And we know throughout their history that is not the case with these people. They are the wicked. You know, according to Malachi 1:4. The Lord said He made out of one lump. Romans 9. A vessel of honor and a vessel of dishonor. The vessel of honor being Jacob. The vessel of dishonor being Esau, Edom, the so-called all-white man, who is the wicked. All right. Yeah. So it's going to be famines. You had those tariffs. It's going to take a while for everything to recirculate back around, to get back going again. And there's no telling that it may not come back in between that time. All right. But yeah, this earthquake in Greece, and also earthquakes in diverse places. That's one of the signs that the Lord is going to be returning back. So let me get this title to this article. It's from the End Time Headlines. It says a powerful 6.3 quake strikes Crete, Greece, felt in central Israel. All right, and before I get into that, I want to get into the earthquake scale. All right, so this is the earthquake magnitude scale, and when you have a magnitude of 2.5 or less, it says it's usually not felt but can be recorded by the seismograph. 2.5 to 5.4 often felt but only causes minor damage. 5.5 to 6.0 slight damage to buildings and other structures. 6.1 to 6.9 may cause a lot of damage in very populated areas. And then it says two more rows. Let me grab that. Okay. 7.0 to 7.9 major earthquake, serious damage. And then 8.0 or greater, great earthquake can totally destroy communities near the epicenter. So this one was registered 6.3. All right, so just to prove those earthquakes of all those different magnitudes were in diverse places, I have this earthquake app. Great. Okay, so I'm going to set it up from the start. I'm going to search the earthquakes, and I'm going to pick all regions, and I'm going to start from this past Sunday, just this week. Okay, and I'm going to take it to yesterday, the 15th. All right, and instead of all sizes, I'm going to start at 3 and above, since based on that scale, that's when you actually feel it. Okay, so 3 and above. All right, and just look at this list. Diverse places in the scripture, when you look at the amount of them for just this week, it is an understatement. Okay, and this is going back as far as 15 hours ago, 19 hours ago, 20 hours ago, 21 hours ago, 22 hours ago, 23 hours ago, a day ago, that's on the 15th. All of these earthquakes. Okay. Man, that's a lot. That is, like I said, diverse is putting it mild. This is a plethora you know. But this, yeah, it's a lot of locations. Okay, this is still the 15th. Okay, now we're starting the 14th. Wow, a lot of earthquakes in diverse places, as it says, you know. Still on the 14th. Gee whiz. Yeah, still on the 14th. This is a long list. Just this week, and the week's not even finished yet. Okay, now you're on the 13th. Yep, that's a lot of earthquakes just this week, and that's from 3 plus magnitude. All right, 3 plus, still going. Yeah, it's, I swear, you know, people think this is a joke. The Lord is about to return and start judging. This is still on the 12th. This is crazy. I mean, it's prophecy, but wow. You know, it's right here in front of your eyes. We have the tools to, you know, see these things. Okay, now we're at the 11th. Three and above. Jeez. These things were everywhere. All regions. Okay, that's the end of that. So let me take a look at this. Just see how many. I'll go to a 5 plus magnitude. Okay, for that same time period, the 11th through the 15th. All right. Yep, there's the one at Greece, you know, on the 13th, 6.0, the one I'm going to be doing the article on. Yeah, a lot of earthquakes, a lot of them. All right. But yeah, this is a nice little app to have to measure them. And then here's that scale again. Okay. Yeah. All right. So let's get to the article. Okay, it says a powerful 6.3. Oh, first of all, this is from the End Time Headlines, and I'll put a link to this article in the description box. It says a powerful 6.3 quake strikes Crete, Greece, felt in central Israel. This was written May 14, 2025. It says a 6.3 magnitude earthquake struck the Greek island of Crete on Wednesday, sending shockwaves across the eastern Mediterranean with tremors felt as far as central Israel and parts of Egypt. According to the German Research Center for Geosciences, the quake occurred at a depth of 83 kilometers, contributing to its widespread impact. And that depth, you know, you saw in the second video that began the lesson, you know, you got some tsunami warnings coming up next. All right. It says, in Israel, residents, particularly in Tel Aviv and surrounding central regions, reported feeling the ground shake. No immediate reports of injuries or damages emerged from the country. Similarly, Egypt's National Research Institute of Astronomy and Geophysics confirmed that the quake, which is measured at 6.4 magnitude, was felt 431 kilometers off of Egypt's northern coast. The institute reported no casualties or property damage in Egypt. Earthquakes in eastern Mediterranean are not uncommon, and their effects are periodically felt in Israel. The region's seismic activity has prompted growing concerns about preparedness. In February, the deputy head of Israel's National Security Council held a meeting to underscore the need for enhanced measures to address the risk of tsunamis triggered by earthquakes in the region. And yeah, that's what they're worried about next. All right. It says, as seismic events continue to affect the eastern Mediterranean, authorities in Israel and neighboring countries are urged to prioritize disaster readiness to mitigate potential impacts. All right, and again, this is an article is from the End Time Headlines. All right, I'll put a link to it in the description box. But yeah, we're at that point. All right, we are at that point where the Lord is beginning to visit the place that He made. All right, this is the book of Luke, chapter 21. Start at verse 11. All right. Verse 10. It's actually, another account of the opening scripture, Mark 13, 7 and 8. And then he said unto them, nation shall rise against nation and kingdom against kingdom. And we are seeing that in real time right now. Like I mentioned before, the state of Israel against everyone else in that region, and also the state of Israel against, the true people of Israel. France and America getting in it with Burkina Faso, wanting to steal their resources. All right, you got Ukraine and Russia still going on, Pakistan and India going on. A lot happening. All right, a lot happening. All right, and it says, and earthquakes shall be in divers places, and famines and pestilences, and fearful sights and great signs shall there be from heaven. All right. Yeah, a lot of them. And one of those great signs, those signs are the tokens of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh's return, to bring destruction on this place. All right, we know beloved Elder Apostle Tahar deemed 2025 as the year of the deliverance of Yasharallah, as well as the destruction and judgment of Esau Edom. And what comes along with that is the destruction of America, aka Babylon the Great. All right, that's in the scripture. It's what it says, and everyone knows that's what America is. That's what the prophecies are talking about: the destruction of America, as well as Israel. The difference is Israel, the land, our original homeland, as outlined in Genesis 15. I want to say verses 18. Yeah, where we will have the land from the great river of Egypt, which is the Nile, all the way over to the Euphrates. Okay. And right now, you got those small hatters, the most defiled people on the earth, who are claiming to be us, occupying the land and defiling it. All right. But they're going to be cleaning it up. All right. When the Lord comes back and delivers His people. All right. But as far as America, it will never be inhabited again. All right. Never be inhabited again, except by desert creatures. But as far as the wealth that this place generated because of all this wickedness, it will never stand again. Just like every other kingdom that Yahweh Bashem Yahushua took down, where the Israelites are involved. Egypt never came back to its power ever again. Babylon never came back to its power. All right. Assyria never came back to its power. Greeks, the Medes, the Persians, they never came back to their power. Okay. Now, but the scripture does talk about the revival of the Roman Empire, or the deadly wound was healed. All right. That's ancient Rome coming back, which is America. All right. But once it goes down, as the scriptures say in Revelation 18, it's it for it. It's never going to come back. All right, the Edomites will never be in rulership again, ever. All right. So yeah, you got, that's one of those effects and signs that the Lord is coming back. Those earthquakes. This is the book of Second Ezra, which is in the Apocrypha. Esdras is in the Apocrypha is the same as Ezra in the Old Testament. All right. Chapter 9, beginning at verse 1. And it reads, He answered me then and said, Measure thou the time diligently in itself, and when thou seest the part of the signs pass, which I have told thee before, then thou shalt well understand that it is the very same time wherein the highest will begin to visit the world which he made. And we know everything is done according to the Lord's prophecy in its own time. All right. And he spoke that. Those were his words, in Mark 13:7 and 8, and Luke 21:10 and 11. Those were his words. All right. The words of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. Okay. And he said, everything must happen in the order which is, in the way which he ordered it. All right. And we know that. This is, let me see, what was that scripture? I think that's in Ezra 2. Measure the time diligently. No, not that one. That we just read that one. Okay, yeah. Ezra 4:37. It says, By measure has he measured the times, and by number hath he numbered the times, and he doth not move nor stir them until the said measure must be fulfilled. So that's what he was saying, that the end is not yet. When he said that the end is not yet, that all these things must happen. All right, that's the order that he ordained them. Okay, and they will happen in that order. Yet and still, it is going to mean the end of this place and of Babylon the Great. The end of Esau's rulership and the beginning of ours. Okay, we know that that is coming. We know that prophecy in Second Ezra 6 verse 9. Let me get that. Beginning in verse 7, 2nd Ezra 6, verse 7. It says, Then answered I and said, What shall be the parting asunder of the times? This is still the prophet Ezra talking with the archangel Uriel. Okay. He says, What shall be the parting of the asunder times, or when shall the end of the first and the beginning of it that followeth? Verse 8. And he answered, and he said unto me, From Abraham unto Isaac, when Jacob and Esau were born of him, Jacob's hand held first the heel of Esau. For Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is beginning of it that followeth. Okay, and we know that word world means the end of an age or rulership. All right, the word world has three meanings in the Greek. Aeon, meaning an age or rulership, oikoumene, meaning the general inhabitants of the earth, and cosmos, meaning the orderly arrangement. That cosmos is when you're in John 3:16, that's talking about the elect of Israel. Okay, so I just want to put that out there. In this context, it is Aeon, the end of a rulership or end of an age. All right. So yeah. That's where we're coming to right now. This is back in 2nd Ezra 9. I'll start at 2 again. It says, Then shalt thou understand that it is the very same time wherein the highest will begin to visit the world which he made. Therefore, when there shall be seen Lock it. The mic came unattached. All right. It says, Therefore, when there shall be seen earthquakes and uproars of the people in the world. And we are seeing that right now. right now. Okay? Yeah, let me start back in 2. It says, then thou shalt understand that is the very same time wherein the highest will begin to visit the world which he made. And we know that. Chariot sightings. Okay? Different moons we've had over the last year. That eclipse. Okay? Verse 3. Therefore, when there shall be seen earthquakes and the uproars of the people in the world. Okay, and that world here is the general inhabitants of the earth. And we are seeing those earthquakes. I just showed them to you in just over a week's time. All those earthquakes from a magnitude of 3 plus. All right. Verse 4. Then shalt thou well understand that the Most High spake of those things from the days that were before thee, even from the beginning. All right. And he told us that. All right. That these things are going to happen. All right. Let me get this in Isaiah. I'll come back to that second address. Chapter 42. Verse 8 and 9. All right. He says, I am Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. That is my name, and my glory will I not give to another, neither my praise to a graven image. All right. And he's proven himself. You know, like he said in 2nd Esdras 9. He spoke of those things in the beginning. And now they come to pass. All right. It says, behold, the former things are come to pass, and the new things do I declare. Before they spring forth, I tell you of them. And that's what I'm just reading. 2nd Esdras 9, all right? Back to that. All right. Verse 5. It says, for like as all that is made in the world hath a beginning and an end, and the end is manifest. The end of what? Esau, Edom's rulership. And Jacob coming into his rulership. That's where we are. All right. It says verse 6. Even so the times also of the highest have plain beginnings, and wonders and powerful works, and endings and effects and signs. And we're seeing those signs, the ones that he called out. Wars and rumors of wars, famines, pestilences, earthquakes in diverse places. All right. One of the main signs. Okay, so with that, I hope this lesson was edifying to the elect body of the nation of Israel. Once again, I'm going to give all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Raha HaKakodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well in teaching us this 100% truth. Salutations to them and my fellow Akim who labor in this truth week in and week out on the highways and byways. Also, salutations to the hopeful elect of the scattered 12 tribes of Israel, scattered to the four corners of the earth that be like unto the speckled bird, also known as your Israelite foreigners, and your so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. To you, I say Shalom, Kwam Yasharallah, Abba Baba. We got next. Shalom.